that just popped up because we are now live. So you can actually share that directly to whoever you want. Reggie, I'm going to get the entrepreneur group, not the startups ones.
Oh, okay. Is there a difference?
Yeah, there's like 3 different groups.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of groups. Okay, so I'll share to the startup ones. Is that what you want me to do?
Yeah. So I'm doing the entrepreneurs and startups in Malaysia group. I think there's like Startup Amak and whatever.
Yeah.
So you're sharing that link right now at your personal Facebook group, is it? CS?
Yeah, I'm also sharing that to my personal group.
Oh, not your personal Facebook group lah. Okay.
But yeah, you can put it in your Facebook groups. You can put it onto your page. Whatever you would like.
Wow, it's quite lagging, huh?
Yeah, it might be like 10, 15 seconds typically. So it's not going to be direct. And I've also been told that there's been a lot more issues with streaming these days just because everyone's at home. So there's a lot more bandwidth being used everywhere.
Yeah.
So a lot of companies are trying to limit the amount of, they're reducing the quality per se to be able to maintain it.
I can't get the link. So sad.
What do you mean? Are you?
No, because I want to share it at my page there, but I can't seem to.
Okay.
Or why not? You share the link.
Yeah, it's in a private chat here.
Yeah, so then I just copy from there and I just share it.
Yeah, you can just share that link directly.
So we'll be able to see them communicating with us at where?
So I will be able to pull that up.
Only you can pull it up, is it?
Yeah. So if anyone actually talks, they will pop up here. Unless they talk in the personal finance and investing Facebook group, then they will pop up. I can actually pull up their comments. So, for those who are watching, please leave a comment. Let us know everything actually works.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's an awkward moment.
Put it a 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Anyway, why don't we just dig right in? So Ryan, thank you so much for, joining us today.
Thank you.
Yeah, we were initially just going to talk about, stocks and property, but I think the big one right now, or literally what just happened before we went live, is the government announcing a bunch of different things, right? So we just kind of want to quickly go over that and get everyone's thoughts and opinions, and then we can move on to our initial topic. Is that cool?
Okay, sure.
Perfect. So I actually have this pulled up here. So this is from Free Malaysia Today, and they did a pretty good job, I think, summarizing a bunch of things. Of course, a lot of the details are still missing. So
It's okay. It happens.
We good?
Welcome back. Yes.
Okay.
It's good.
Yeah. So we don't know what exactly, the process of distributing everything that they're talking about is, but going through it just now, I've noticed a lot of payments, right? For example, here, 1,600 to people who are households who are earning less than 4,000 ringgit. And then I see more stuff about targeted people who are above 21, and then essentially more money to other households earning different amounts, right? So all of these seems to be one-off payments. What's everyone's thought about that?
Yeah, I was checking out, and a lot of my friends are asking me also, what is the government trying to do, and are they actually printing money? Where do they get the source of money? I think it's definitely, no, I don't dare to say definitely, but I have a feeling it's from the government's coffer. What they're trying to do is make sure that the economy is running and everyone has sufficient money to continue their life, but they have to make sure that they use that money for the essentials only and not for any other matters, so to survive. Because what's coming to us, we don't know when will COVID end. How long will this going to be? and a lot of businesses are affected. Only, a lot of businesses cannot continue as usual. Everyone has to be at home in hopes to get the cases down and flatten the curve.
Mm-hmm. And Reggie, so you've also, yesterday Singapore announced something similar, and you had a quick look. You had a chance to go through all of that. What do you say? Or to you, like, what's the big differences between how Singapore's government's handled this versus how the Malaysian government's handling this, or is there any?
Okay, I've not gotten a chance to read the stimulus from the Malaysian side. So I think when I briefly look at it, I think everybody, not just the Malaysian government, but the UK government and even the US government, everyone is doing a lot of direct payments, right, into the economy to flood money into the economy so that everything just kind of keeps going, per se. But the very big question mark is if everyone cannot go out and spend, right, and then what's with all this money, right? So is the money just for paying your rent or your mortgages or what's going on, right? So the challenge here that we are facing today is that this is not just a financial issue, right? If it's a financial breakdown, pumping money into the economy makes it very easy for people to go and spend and encourage, move flow of money within the system, the network effect, etc., and then you kind of push the economy back together. But at this point in time, you're asking people to stay at home, right? So people cannot spend, but then you give them money. Then it's like, so what you want, right? So it's a very big question mark, and per se, nobody exactly knows what is the kind of impact and how it can then salvage the economy. I think the fundamental is still that we need to sort out the virus, at least contain it. All right, so contain it to a level where we can track people that have it so that everyone else can kind of continue to live their life and continue to kind of live this thing. The chances are the vaccine will not come so fast. It's probably another year out. Any kind of vaccine done within this short period of time probably doesn't have the kind of accuracy, the kind of impact that we want, that will cover everyone. So given that short period of time, vaccine will not come. So at least we want to reach a level where the people that are infected can be traced and tracked so that everyone else can carry on with their lives and the economy can be uplifted in that sense. But all that being said, there's a growing amount of contract workers and gig economy workers all around the world, right? Especially in Malaysia and Singapore is growing. So it's good that all these direct payments are going in so that people that have direct impact in terms of their lives being affected can still continue to pay their rent, cover their basic expenses. But as to having all that to really stimulate the economy and get it going, I think it's very questionable. Yeah, it covers everyone that's affected as a result of loss of income and probably supports some of the businesses so that the business don't just end But if you're expecting serious economic activity for the next few months, I think it's impossible because there's a lockdown law. Right? So no matter how much you spend, that's probably not you're not gonna see much. Yeah.
But it's interesting that they actually pump a lot of money on the internet, this and that. I think they want, this is one of the best chance right now to do online content wherever you are. It doesn't matter whether it's financial, whether it's music, whether it's, singing or acting or TikTok, all this and that. Digitization is coming nearer and faster than what we usually predicted. Last time we thought that, how we're going to get everyone to go online, but now is the best time. Now is the right time.
So, Ryan, I haven't actually fully read everything here, but has the government actually announced incentives for people to do more digital stuff?
For right now is probably to make the internet free so that people can go and go online and get themselves busy instead of not sure what they're doing out there. I mean, so that they want to prevent people from going out restriction movement order. They want people to stay at home, just watch online Netflix, go to your classroom online, everything. This is something good I feel is for the people if they can get hold of this sort of advantage and make full use of the potential. Then life. It wouldn't be that boring I understand that people want to go out, that kind of thing, but we cannot. This is we cannot be that selfish and try stay at home and do what we can do.
Yeah. No, that's a great point, right? Like, to if we can essentially give everyone internet for free, or those who are, I guess I don't even know really how they would give everyone internet for free. If let's say the house currently does not have it, you can't just go. I don't think they'll be going in to install this
Yes.
free internet, right?
But I think there are some telecommunication company, I wouldn't say the brand because I don't want to sound so biased later to a particular brand. But I think they'll figure this out and see, okay, they know that people are kind of stuck in their house, but how do they want to connect all this? And after they get the funds from the government, they will try their best to reach out to the people. Now, of course, the brands for this telecommunication, they actually open it up to people to register online, and you don't need to go to the counter anymore.
Okay. Yeah.
Everything can be done online right now.
Yeah. And speaking of online, while we were just setting up, you were also mentioning how there's also this other, potential issue with all this, right? Like the government's giving everyone some money, but then the problem is because, and Reggie mentioned, like everyone's stuck at home, right? And Reggie's saying, oh, people can't buy. Actually, I think
they still can buy.
They can buy. And that might be where the issue is. Can you kind of elaborate again and share with everyone who's watching?
Okay. For people who always spend outside, maybe not window shopping, they really go out there and really spend the money, buy food, this and that. Okay, now they can go out, but they got this available option. Food Panda, Grab, all this and that, different food delivery, they'll do it for you as long as you got the money. And now the government is giving the people money in hopes that they will use it to, hey, remember, make sure you spend it prudently, all right? Because things are going to be pretty tough. So we want to make sure that you survive. And that's why they kind of, they do the, deferment of your loan, your PTPTN, your housing loan and everything, so that they will reduce your burden, your financial burden. It helps you use that money to survive until we see what will happen next in the coming 6 months.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that is one viewpoint, and I used to think that was a very valid viewpoint until I got the numbers from China. So China released their report for January and February. Okay. Wait. Is he around?
I think he might have just dropped off, but let's continue. Yeah.
Okay, let's continue. So China released their report in January for the January and February numbers. So relative to the year before, there was a decline in retail, of course, 25% down, manufacturing 15% down, all the down, right? And then I went to check, it's like online retail, is it up? And what I found out is that they were only up by 3%. And there's a varying reports, right? So some reports say that there's a reduction in 3%. Some reports say that there's not much changes. Of course, it depends on how they classify and where they get their data. But in general, the spread is with plus minus 3%. So while I used to think that there is a good chance that, people can consume a lot online, I realized that, okay, maybe that is not exactly the case. There are some things that they can consume online, but the reality is, a lot of the economies today are paying a premium for like experiences, for the kind of additional activities. It's not all about products anymore, right? We have gone way past buying toothbrush, buying bags and all those. We are seeking experiences, and when you deduct all that kind of additional spending, you realize that even online consumption is not experiencing a huge peak. Despite that, a lot of government is hoping that people will end up buying online. But yes, people are buying online, continue to buy what they usually buy, but they're not like buying a lot of new things online. I think that is kind of something that we can look at, in general. Yeah. Welcome back.
Oh, sorry. I don't know why I suddenly got popped out just now.
No worries, normal. Yeah.
So for those who are watching, we don't really know how the money's going to be distributed. Like, the government's talking about doing this, but the process of getting it out to the everyday person is still, a question. I remember with like the US, how they're talking about giving all this money. But then there's also the whole conversation of it might take a few more months before that money actually reaches people. Right. So I guess so from that perspective, like don't make this your current decisions based off what you think will happen
Yeah.
in the future, right? Because you don't know, like ideally it does happen and it'd be great, but you don't know when it's going to happen or if it's going to happen or what other issues might come along the way. So that's one of those things. I'm just like, just make sure you don't go too crazy or with anything at this point.
Yeah, and I think I'm in Singapore probably a lot less in terms of like unbanked individuals because we all live in the city, we're very near the banks, but in places that are bigger like Malaysia, where you have the rural areas where you have like, not just a city, right? You have like the suburbs, you have the other towns. I think there is definitely this group of people that are unbanked. That means they don't own a bank account. So it makes it very difficult for the government to funnel cash directly to the individual, right? That's why, like in the US, they talk about like having spending a month because you literally need to deliver checks, right? And all the kind of delivery platforms now are very expensive. I just read a report talking about how the cargo planes are charging 6 times their average, usual costs, right? So you get the idea, right? It's very expensive because everyone is sending this, physical goods on the planes, to rush this whole thing. So for governments to send checks or even find a way to get money into your hands, that is already quite a challenge, especially in a bigger country. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess besides that, anyone else have any other comments they would like to make about the stimulus, or should we move on to the main topics here?
Let me look at the
so good.
stimulus. Okay, let me look at the stimulus, and then we can do a comparison maybe to tomorrow or the day after. That's
Sure.
good.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, going back to you, Ryan. So, we never really had a chance, or we haven't really introduced you properly yet. So, if you could tell everyone here, who you are, what you do professionally, and what you might be doing from an investment perspective right now.
Okay. So hi everyone. My name is Ryan, and I'm actually a content creator. And besides that, I'm business development executive. So I work with a team of people to do big productions, maybe music productions and travel, so anything that content that has to do with food, travel, something that can touch. I mean, like that people will want to watch. Food is something that people want to watch. Traveling also, we also do some sort of courses to teach people how to do basic mobile video production so that they can leverage on YouTube, can leverage on Facebook to show out what they want to let people to watch and use. Probably, hopefully, one day, if they make it big one day, could use it as part of their income. Yeah. So
That's
these
cool.
are the things that I would do lah. And Bujang Broke is something that I created, and also it was encouraged by my management because they found out that among all my other colleagues, my colleagues have different set of hobby. Some love to sing, some really love to play guitar, this and that. But I was the only one who keep emphasizing on financial literacy because I don't know, like some people will feel it like financial stuff very very boring lah, like very nerdy kind of thing. Like nobody want to look at it. But I believe otherwise lah. So that's why I created it, and I wanted to share it and show to different people, and whatever I think is useful, I will share it with people so that they can watch. Yeah.
I share that sentiment actually, like when you tell people about finance and everybody like, wow, nobody wants to listen to that.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, why you talk about finance? I just want to talk about travel, I want to talk movie, talk about the next cafe I want to go, right?
Yeah.
So nobody's really interested. So and I feel that there's a good part because it's very complex. That's one thing. Right. And there's another good part because a lot of the professionals are very far away. The way they talk is very distant. They're not approachable, right? Because for whatever reason, I think a lot of professionals sound like that. It's not just financial professionals, IT professional, lawyers, doctors. They've become very good at what they do. They've studied for many years and they practice for many, many years, right? Then they suddenly just sound very boring.
The level is too different already. It's too complex.
Yes.
You can't understand like how can you make that thing a little bit more kindergarten version lah, so that we all the bottom part will like, oh okay, I get what you mean, you start with something simple first before you build it up, that kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. And I think when you are at the level where you know a lot and you're every day you're talking to people that knows a lot in the industry, you're just used to industrial terms, right? You're used to just saying, oh, this is what it is, and like you throw a term out, everybody understand, right? Because that is your day-to-day, everyone talks like that. But when you're
Correct.
trying to convey to the layman, then it's like every term that comes, like the one line got 5 terms. Every term the person also question mark. It's like, what
Yeah,
you
like
saying?
what's that? What, I've never heard of that before.
Yes, precisely. So I think there's an interesting space where people like us, are trying to bridge the gap, right? Where all these kind of professional content, it's so jarring, people cannot understand, and then there's the layman that's trying to understand, right? Especially these days, I think more and more people are conscious about financial literacy. They at least they understand that there's a need to learn, right? They may not understand, but there's a growing desire and there's a growing movement. So I think that is very cool, and that is where we come in to bridge the gap, right? We take all this complex thing and then we try to dumb it down, right? And then lay it down, right? Make sure everyone can understand bit by bit, lah. Every day you learn a little bit. One day you will get, a lot clearer on how you want to manage your finances.
Correct.
Right.
People always, I remember last time people always said, make sure you keep 6 months worth of your, savings so that in case anything happens. Well, guess what? COVID happens. Now that thing kind of makes sense, Back then people like, what disaster? Nothing's going to happen, that kind of thing. But
Exactly.
this is happening. This is happening.
Yes, exactly. And I'm a bit more careful. I tell people do like 1 year.
It's good.
Typical Singaporean, right?
hey, hello. That is not cool.
No la, come on.
But I get it. I think okay, because when I look at savings, I see savings with 2 roles, not just one. Right. So a lot of people, when they look at savings, they look at savings with like cushioning uncertainty. Right, that means like this kind of like this like suddenly now lah, right? COVID suddenly people cough, then spread, then become everywhere, right? And then countries have to go lockdown, and then affects a lot of people income, and it's a serious problem. So that is one thing that you want to kind of mitigate the downward, right? But I also talk about the other side, which is the upward opportunity, the kind of opportunity out there that maybe you find. Like you pilot something and then it works, you want to double down, you want to invest more money into, like, maybe put more Google ads into whatever you do, or Facebook ads into whatever you do, and then that is the kind of extra capital that can come in, that was from your savings, right? So when I look at it, savings has 2 roles, which is to cushion your down and capitalize on opportunity, right? Because some people, their savings can put down payment on, right? Or 1 year worth of savings can put down payment. So you realize that when I see it that way, I feel that 1 year is a great cushion. It's not all about the down. There is also that possibility of that upward capitalization, right? And I did talk about it in one of the podcasts. So shameless plug. I think it was episode 5.
Okay. No, you should promote it out so that people will know and check it out.
Yes.
Give some small teaser so that people will check it out and listen to the full one. It will be interesting. Seriously, I encourage people to go and watch it out. And even about a few days ago, I have one follower asking me, hey Ryan, can you do content about money management during crisis? So I was like thinking, sure, why not? And in Malaysia, right, back then, I mean, just a few days ago, before the announcement of the automatic deferment, we have to apply it. So I was like telling them, okay, I'm going to assume the cases whereby people lose their job and they probably have, 5,000 ringgit worth of money cash and they can survive for 2 months. So I teach them how to apply this deferment so that they can, instead of surviving 2 months, they can survive for the next 5 months and then think what to do next, stop the bleeding first and then figure out how you want to fix that thing. So that's what I shared. And then when I think about it at night, I mean, like I did that video, everything, the production, everything. And that night before I went to sleep, I was like thinking, oh my gosh, if I actually applied it, I could raise a lot of money. But then again, sometimes questions come one after another. When you have that a lot of money, what are you going to do next? If some people, they don't know how to use that money, they kind of accidentally might burn it off. But some people, if they know what to do with it, they can make some more money out of it. I wouldn't be so optimistic to say, oh, double, triple, that kind of thing, because you never know. This uncertainty already. But yeah, there's some focus an objective that you can go for.
Exactly. And I think when I look at it, right, I think when I create content, that's also something that happens. It's like as you create, you got more questions, and then you create more, and then there are more questions to be answered, right? So yeah, kudos, continue to create cool stuff. Yes.
Yeah, and I think we can totally do another whole I guess episode or series or whatever around this. But people, I guess with today, let's stick with like the stocks and the property and all that, right?
Yeah.
So Ryan, you have some experience in, I guess, trading shares here in Malaysia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yep.
yeah. So can you tell us how you got into it, and what your current methodology about, or the way you think about investing or trading?
Okay. So this started probably 2 3 years ago. I can honestly tell you I'm not really that active back then. But in the long run, I figured, you know, you gotta build. Somehow, I tell myself I need to build another stream of income, but not to the extent that I negate. I mean, like I neglect my main job. Okay, don't neglect your main job. I know people whereby when they have their main job, they focus on their stream of income and they forgot about the main job. Who's paying you right now and who is actually feeding you? It's your main company, so you got to deliver your best to your current company, and then when you have the extra time, then you go for that. Okay, so the way I play back then before this kind of thing happened, it's a little bit more long term. So I will do research at night, this and that, but I only stick to probably 3 or 4 stocks only, because I feel that if you look too many, right, you get yourself confused. Something goes up or down, this and that. But back then, when things were pretty stable, I just look at the team. What is the government announcing? What is the future? What does the future hold? Right. A lot of things that currently, I mean, before this COVID all thing, I've been focusing on technology stocks, because I felt that automation is the future. Before I left RBC, I was working as a fund accountant in the Royal Bank of Canada. So a lot of things were done manually. You calculate, you reconcile everything. It's really human, but you got to do it fast, because we got a lot of timeline. Like by 2 o'clock, by 4 o'clock, you have to inject the price to the market so that the fund managers can use it. So before I left, right, they already introduced robotics. That was back in 2017. So fast forward now, right? Just last year, the government already start to introduce package incentives for people who apply robotics. And my girlfriend, before she left Sunway about a few months ago, also start to do some sort of transformation, robotics on accounting. So for sure, right, accountant job is not that lucrative anymore. I feel, because automation will soon replace it. So those kind of stocks related to tech, that's the future.
So how do you then decide what kind of stocks to look at? Okay, maybe I share a little bit about how I do it. Okay,
Sure.
so the first thing that I look at is there must be I usually come from a trend perspective. So what is the future? Where am I looking at? What is if the future is automation, then I gotta so that will be the overarching theme. Or if the future is like healthy eating, then that will be the overarching theme, right? Then based on that theme, I will look at the industry, right? So and then once I look at the industry, I will study how this industry works and look at all the players in the game. Then I pick the person that I want, or I pick the stock that I want, right? So this gives me a very clear overarching kind of view. And for some people, I know some of my friends, they literally read through the whole S&P list. Everybody, they go and, so one by one they study, right? So for me, that is how I do it. And some other people do it other ways. I'm kind of curious, how do you end up choosing what kind of stocks to look at?
Okay, so for me, I will do my own, like some sort of simulation whereby I don't buy it first. I mean, I look at the chart, I look at the graph, how low did it go already, and any reason in particular why is it dropping? Is it because of the quarterly result is not that good, or what? Like something going on? There must be a reason to support it lah. And I need people to discuss about it, like in a sense that I just use simple things like Facebook. You type any stocks, if people are not discussing about it, high chance that maybe it's not a popular stock yet. And sometimes when you pick the certain stock, right, you cannot do it like once you buy, you need a lot of people to go in together with you, that kind of thing. If nobody is talking about it, right, it's just going to be stagnant. You can hold it, you can buy, you still can buy, but be prepared to hold it for a very, very long term.
Yeah, and I guess just chiming in here. So the way I look at these things is, I guess I'm trying to follow more of the value investing route, right? Whereas I feel like Reggie, you might be more on like the growth side, like what's like the growth potential. So for me, you know, I'm even though I'm in the space of like value, I'm still looking at like it's only going to be valuable if that company is going to be around in 10 years and if it's going to get bigger, right? So I guess there's still that aspect of growth. It just might not be early stages of growth. Yeah, so that's usually what I start with is like understand, and then after that it's like figuring out like, you know, what industries do I actually understand and that are actually growing, right? Because if I don't understand the industry and it's growing, then like I don't know when some like, you know, when is it gonna stop growing, right? Because I don't know I don't know the indicators, right? So that's how I've actually been looking at a few companies. That said, like even with this whole like drop off, like what you said, Ryan, like I only have 2, 3, 4 companies on my radar of like these are ones that I know I know and I understand and I am willing to buy using or you know invest in.
There's one thing that I wanted to say also and share. Is it we can share about the stock's name? Is it okay? Can tell
Yeah,
you
sure.
right now.
Let's
Okay.
all do that. One
Wait,
company.
does Chang want to put his disclaimer first?
Okay. Yeah. Disclaimer. First things first, I need to tell you that I already sell off everything. My way of playing right now is really intraday. Like the one I explained earlier, it was long term, but right now I don't think it's working already because the market is super volatile. Malaysia's way of trading, for me, in my own personal opinion, it might be true, it might not be true. People usually sell, most of them, they sell and they don't want to hold their stocks overnight. Like right now, if you see Friday, today itself in KLSE, it will, after lunch, people starts to, either it goes up a bit until 3 o'clock and then start to sell already, that kind of thing, because people don't want to hold it overnight. They'll always want to look at how DJI, the Dow Jones index is doing. And if the sentiment there is good, then people will have that sort of confidence and buy it here. So what I am looking at is health sector. Top Glove is definitely one of it. But the thing is, you see, Top Glove is like 6 ringgit. And it's like, it's kind of expensive, I would say. Even average people will think twice to buy it because once you put in the money, right, you basically lock yourself. You can't go anywhere already for any quick opportunity for intraday trading. This one is going to be a little bit sensitive, but yeah. So what happens next is people have to start looking around. What is something similar to Top Glove, but is cheaper for people to grab so that they can get buy more lot. And when you buy more lot, you can actually run. I mean, like once you buy and it goes up by just less, like 1 cent, 2 cent, you can run already. If you buy like over 100 to 300 to 500 lot. Of course, the risk when it's higher, your return will be higher. But yeah, you my way of doing it is I really need to see that and ensure that there's some sort of, how to say, it will go up, but don't be too greedy and don't be too optimistic. Intraday trading is once you go up by just 0.5 cents, grab it and go. That's all. Don't turn back and say, oh, I could have earned more than that. No, you're just going to get yourself into trouble. And once things doesn't go right, you're just going to kill your confidence. And then you wouldn't dare to go for intraday trading already. Yeah, I also look at things like telecom, because telecom is like internet, and it's been here for many, many years already. They lay down the cables and everything. Not to say that they are good all the way, there are times that it dropped before. It dropped to last year, no, 2 years ago, when the general election was concluded, and then yeah, it kind of dropped lah after some announcement by the minister. So it dropped to 2 ringgit plus, and because of emotion, fundamental was out of the window already. People don't dare to buy until I don't know, somebody started to buy it, and it raised back up all the way to from 2 ringgit plus back all to 4 ringgit. Imagine if someone actually bought it at 2 ringgit 20 cents, they could have earned a lot already by then. But you never know, you know. Market is fueled by emotions of many different people, and people will react differently with the information that they receive.
Okay, I have a question. So you were talking about like market movements and emotional elements, right? I think one of the main concern about a lot of people is there insider trading in the KL exchange, right? So what I'm not saying there is, don't catch me, okay. What I'm trying to say is that because the companies are so small, right? Less than 100 million US dollars, a lot of companies are around that size. It makes it very easy for anyone with a little bit more cash to come and so-called crocodile the market, like pass, trade, and then got Xiao come in, and then they just kind of sell everything away the moment the prices hits. So there's a lot of insider movement of cash in that sense, right? I'm not saying that they are doing insider trading, but I'm just saying that because the companies are so small, they're so prone to big money movement, that maybe a lot of retail investors cannot handle this kind of stuff. What are your thoughts?
Correct. So, well, if for me lah, I will tell myself lah, if I think that I can outsmart the sharks, definitely I cannot. They are way ahead of me. I'm just riding the wave, man. I am just a small fish. I acknowledge that. I don't have that much money, so that's why I need to try to figure out, like, sometimes my friend even extract the data to see out the volume. They want to see how many people actually buy into it and why is the movement that way. We kind of, that's why we need to cross check also with the simple things that I said that I do. Just click and see how many people is talking about that particular stocks. Cross check with the DJI, with Hang Seng, see how's their index doing with the news and everything. There's a lot of data that you have to cross check. You can't just like buy into that and then you just pray to God or something. No, that ain't gonna happen, man. You better cross check with the data and everything. Then you have higher probability lah of hitting the target lah that you wanted.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. I think the one, or like, sorry, anyone else have anything they want to add about stocks or anything like that? Or
no, yes, yeah,
because I think because all our previous guests, when we ever do talk about investing, it tends to be more around the stock market, right? Whereas for you, I think your expertise seems to be more in the real estate space.
Yeah.
So I'm for me personally, like I've been in that space before. I enjoy that space. I feel like I'm in kind of more control over the whole experience. So to me, I feel like I have a better advantage in that space, right? So why don't you tell us a bit more about how you got into the real estate space and how you're looking at investing in real estate?
Okay, so real estate is something pretty interesting lah. I read about it, and is it okay if I mention like the names of people that I follow?
Yeah, by all means, go for it.
So I read this book, the Where to Find, but he put the title so smartly, WTF, 30 properties before the age of 30, something like that. It's by this Malay guru called Faizul Rizwan. I look up to this fella, and very interesting. I read his book because before I graduate, I kind of tell myself I need to do something like, I need to figure out what I want to invest in and do it quick. I mean, because that time I was like 23, 24. So I read his book and got inspired, and I kind of be very disciplined with myself. When I got my job, I save a lot, as much as I can. I rarely go vacation. I rarely splurge on things. and by the age around 26 years old, I started to, not really 26, by 25 years old already, I start to look around for properties. It's not easy to make that move, because from someone who don't know anything to suddenly, I also have to thank my girlfriend for like telling me, hey, your idol is in Cyberjaya Magic. We got this thing called Magic Cyberjaya whereby people do the accelerator program there.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, your idol is in Magic Cyberjaya and he's giving a talk there. Do you want to go? Then I'm like, okay lah, sure, why not? So I went for this course for real estate. And I probably I'm not really the youngest there, but people of my age wouldn't do that. They'll be like, what nonsense is this? But I'll be like, no, I think it's good for my future lah. So I better go there and check it out. I learned the theory part, but it takes a lot of guts for me to perform it. And once I do it, I'll be like, oh my gosh, now I know this is not easy at all. Totally not easy at all. Because when I first hunt for the property, I go online and everything. I'll check out at iProperty and I'll look around. I'm more familiar with Cyberjaya because I studied there. I graduated from there. So I basically know what is being built, how to compare, do this and that. So after I go for that course, I quickly try to apply it because I'm afraid that if I don't apply the theory that I learned, and then like it's a bit of a waste. So what I did was, because when you just fresh graduate coming out, right, you can't buy so expensive. I mean, like you really cannot splurge a lot of money, or else you'll never know if you want to buy your second property. It's gonna disturb your cash flow and everything. You need to make sure that it's rented out and all that. So I hunt for property that was below 300,000, but I have to make sure that whatever rent that I collect, it has to help me break even. I mean, as best as I can. Growing up, I only know about like terrace landed property, something like I live in, but I wasn't sure about things like studio, condominiums, apartment, all those stuff. So I pick it up and I found out, I went around to hunt, and my first few adventures wasn't that successful. I even, when you were younger, you're so passionate about it, and then you will get some sort of disappointments also along the way lah, when you don't find the things that you want to find.
Yeah.
So
what types of properties were you personally looking for? Like when you said
right
you're
now,
on the hunt?
I hunt for studio property, because studio property I knew that is something that I can afford. I mean, for that price point, right? Anything below 300,000, I couldn't find anything that is 2-bedder or 3-bedder at Cyberjaya. Not at all. If you want to find such 2-bedder, 3-bedder, is gonna be like 400,000 and above, which kind of over my budget already, which I can't do it. So I just go for studio, and I did like apple to apple comparison, and I stumbled upon this property whereby at first I was searching for others. I did other places lah, and visually people post it. Agents in Malaysia, they always do this. They post it in online, everything. Wow, it looks so fancy and cool. Once you enter, you're like, what the hell is going on? You get what I mean? You got that kind of experience before? You understand, right? So I went in there, I was like, oh my gosh. I looked at the photo, it was so beautiful and nice, but when I went in and like the curtain was like gone and there's no bed, the bed maybe cracked or all that. Oh, I got stunned, I tell you. I'm like, okay, I better manage my expectation next time. So I went for this survey a few times, until the last one. This last one before I bought it, I was like looking at it. It looks nice on picture, but I tell myself, come on, don't get fooled again. Probably wouldn't look that nice. But guess what? When I went there, it looks exactly as what the picture show. Like it has the sofa, the dining table, the kitchen hood and hob and everything. So I thought, pretty decent lah. This place, like, not bad lah. But what I felt odd was the way how they put it. Like, when you have dining chairs, you don't use office chair as your dining chair, right? But apparently this house use it. So I felt like, what the heck is going on? This is something not correct lah. So I asked the person, why you selling it off? He said, oh, it belongs to his brother. Apparently the brother is someone who is like very old already, senior citizen like that lah. Huh? So that he's quite afraid to lock his money at that property. So he just want to cash it out already. And um, it was rented out at 1,100. But when I do my research, I was like, 1,100, that's low, man. I know it could go higher than that. So I kind of try to be creative and spend as less as I can to acquire it. And when I negotiated with her, she actually allowed me to purchase it at 285,000, which was the original price they bought it. But I was being too kind. I did my first mistake, which is she said, "Hey, there's another person who is coming to see. Do you want to lock it?" I said, it's okay. You can give it to that person to have a look first." And the next few days when I wanted to get it, he was like saying, you can buy the property, but you have to buy it at the price that she won, which was 288,000. So I just took it lah. I just took it. But one good thing I mean something that I learned about the whole episode is that when you do your preparation and everything, because visually I had to make sure that it looks nice. I replaced the office chair. I took it away. I resell it. I get that some money and I buy some stuff from Lazada and everything, make it look more, how to say, like modern a little bit. I just bought some chairs, but it's a suitable, good chair that give you the feeling of home when you set the impression up and everything. So managed to rent it out at 1,300. I was quite happy about it until today. That was like,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah. So you got it for 288. Well, I guess you definitely did not put up pay 288,000 up front, right? So
No.
can you explain to people how the next part works? So the purchase price is 288, but you obviously did not put 288. What did you do?
Correct. So basically, this is like a secondary market. Secondary market is things like subsell. Primary is under construction, but I'm buying subsell. I go for that because that's something that I can see and touch. I have a look, and then once I'm satisfied with everything, I will like I need to do some loan agreement S&P, and don't forget, it's not just the S&P, sales and purchase agreement. By the way, you still have your mortgage fee to pay. That's the thing that I missed out. I miscalculated that part. Luckily, that time I managed to save just enough, and I did Grab, because like Grab as in driving Grab, because that time my cash is like running out so fast already, so fast. I miscalculated. So the key rule of buying property, you gotta make sure you have at least 15% upfront of what you have. In KL, you could have done it without, how to say, you don't need that much money, because in West Malaysia, in KL, right now the property is like giving very, very good offer, in the sense that you don't need upfront cash. They give you cash back up to 30-40%. But in East Malaysia, no. There's no such deals that I know as of now.
Why did they do something like that?
Because there's so many developers right now in KL, so they want to ensure they can move to the new project and launch it, but they need to check that they need to acquire the land again for different places and make sure they have enough money to load it. And there will be group of purchasers. Some people, right, if they are freelance, like they do it alone, like me, I do alone. I don't do in group purchases and that, because I don't quite believe in group purchase. It's like following the herds. But there are such people, groups that team up, and they will do things like that. Even agents also, they'll do that.
Okay. So I guess just because I'm definitely a numbers guy, especially with real estate. So you bought it for 288. What was your and you paid 10% down, 15%?
I paid about 10%, but the lawyer fee was about another 4% like that.
So, okay, about 14-15%.
Yeah, but also, right, that year, I remember that time they kind of waived the fee. What fee is that already? There's one of the stamp duty, they waive it off. Subsell, For undercon, right, when you buy in Malaysia, your lawyer fee wouldn't be that much for under construction. That's primary. But for subsale, you still have to pay the stamp duty and all that. But apparently that time they wanted to encourage young people, young working adults to acquire their first property. So they waive off your stamp duty lah. So that
Okay.
part kind of helped me. If let's say they
Yeah.
didn't waive that off, I'm kind of screwed lah. Means I have to break it down to my family member and say, hey, I'm short of a few thousand. Could you help me? That kind of thing.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. And so you paid about 15% down after all the fees. What was your monthly mortgage like?
It's like about 1,200. Okay.
1,200.
One thing that I made mistakes too is I went for term loan. Term loan is something fixed. You can't really. It's different from flexi loan or semi flexi loan. So term loan is if he fixed the price for you at 1,200 means you pay exactly and you cannot pay more. Because once you pay more, right? I did try. I accidentally paid like maybe 1,300. After 2-3 years, that 100 ringgit extra, it becomes like maybe 10 ringgit. Somehow the banks took away the other extra 90 ringgit. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm definitely not familiar with the terms here are used here. So what does it mean? Like, so term loan seems like it's a fixed amount. You can't really do anything. But what about flexi, semi-flexi? What do those look like?
Flexi and semi-flexi, they behaves about the same lah. If your loan is 1,200, but you pay maybe 2,000, like 800 ringgit extra, it will help you to reduce the interest.
Okay.
Yeah, that you need to pay. But somehow, right, I got some sort of another perspective again after I attend this talk about a company that actually share with me about management on your mortgage management services or something like that.
Yeah.
But that one I cannot share yet because I've yet to verify it. But the cases that they show is something like you should not pay more than what is stated on your agreement, because somehow the bank can still take your money again. There are some cases that people show that even though you pay in advance, maybe you can't, finish it faster than what you thought. There's some calculation that's hidden that we can't see as a normal citizen unless you have someone who can extract the data from BNM, from the banks directly. Then you would be able to calculate it accurately. This kind of thing I can't really share because I'm not really expert in it yet.
Yeah. So just want to wrap up the numbers here. So your monthly mortgage is about 1,200. Is this also including any other association fees or?
Oh, not yet, because you got the management fee.
Yeah.
Yeah, the management fee is about another 250 per month.
Okay, so now you're at 1,450. Any other fees associated with this?
So far, no. It's just like this. But the long run is that here's the thing about property. As long as you can cover at least 60-70%, you're doing quite fine, because most of the money that you pay, right, is serving your interest. And then if you can finish it by, I don't know, somehow if your bonuses, you can accumulate a lot, and by the 20th year you could, dump the whole thing and finish it up, then yeah, you can take advantage by doing refinancing of your house to get the extra cash to do something. And hopefully if the value increases and the rental too, there's a lot of things you can do with the extra cash. For right now, which I look at, that's why I want to encourage people, go online courses or go and check out like free one. Don't go for the paid one, please. Go for the free one first. Until you are more convinced with what's happening, then it's up to you. But go for the free one, because what I did was, right now my move is going around, and I heard that property gurus are switching to stocks. They found out that stocks will probably give them the 100% return in another 1-2 years to come. So what they are doing right now is whatever property they're holding, 10 to 20, they try to refinance 1 or 2. All these things they are doing it right now, like going to do all the paperwork and make sure that they are loaded with cash. When the time is right, they will go into a certain stock. AHR is definitely probably one of the stock that they are looking into. Like imagine it drops until 50 cents. What's the chances of it going back to 1 ringgit? They can pump in a lot of money with the available cash they have. And then because now OPR was being announced like reduced in Malaysia. So means your mortgage loan right now is cheaper to serve. So they want to pump the money to stop, get the money back. By the time the OPR increase again, they finish it out there. That's how they play around.
Yeah, because me as well, right? Like before all of this happened, last year, like I was wondering, like, do I sell my property in Canada? Do I keep it? Because I was cash flowing 600 a month, right? So it was doing well. Like, I was never like, it was definitely paying me more than I was paying it. But then my problem was, I knew that the market was due for some sort of correction, right? I mean, I didn't know about this, but I knew it was some sort of correction, and I felt like it was going to come up soon, and I wanted to get essentially get money out of that house, right? Unfortunately, being someone who doesn't live in Canada right now, they don't allow me to actually refinance it, and my only real option was to sell it. So that's exactly what I did. But it was also with the goal of like, I know in the next 3-4 years that my opportunity with that cash is definitely a lot higher in the stock market than it would be in real estate. So
yeah, there's one more thing I forgot to share with you about bricks.com. Would you mind to go and on the screen to type BRICKZ?
BRICKZ.
Hold on. Let me see what's the bricks.com is something for Malaysia to actually check out the transaction that is happening.
Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah, because I've never found I mean, this is very common in Canada, but I couldn't find one in Malaysia.
It's www.brickz.my.
Yep, here we are.
Okay, yeah, this is the one. Okay, this, I know we left 3 minutes, but I'll do it as fast as I can. This is something that you can check out for free about what is being transacted in Malaysia, whether you see residential, commercial, industrial, or land. And if you want to find, you only see the recent 10 that is being transacted. If you want the full data, somehow you have to pay like 3,000 ringgit to get the full data, which I don't recommend because you're not a serious property investor, so you don't need it. But basically using this, you type a street name, you can type like Depulse, or maybe you try type Eco Sky, ECO
Sky.
Okay, see whether it pops out or not. Yeah, at Jalan Ipoh, you click on it.
Is this where your property is?
No. This is not my one. This is Eco World property, but it's one of the famous one lah. I think any KL people would know, and you can see. Yeah, you can see the price per square feet. You can see the median. You can see what's the size of it. Yeah, this and that. So, but you can't see the address exactly, but you can see the date, the sales and purchase agreement. When did they buy it? I think this one is like pretty legit and useful for people, Malaysians, to look into. This is really, really important for them to look at the data. Then they know whether did they overbuy or not, that kind of thing.
Neat. Yeah, this is really cool. Would love to dig into it. Just look at different areas in Malaysia myself.
Yeah. So wherever if you stay in Malaysia and you figure out the name, you can type in there and it will kind of pop out lah.
Yeah. Awesome. So thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate.
Most welcome.
Really appreciate it, and especially when because we had a chance to talk about real estate. It's been a long time since I had a chance to really dig deeper into what you're doing.
And see that you enjoy talking about property.
Yeah. So we can definitely continue this conversation some other time.
Sure.
But are there any other last words you would like to tell or share with anyone here? Any websites that you would like them to check out? your own Facebook page per se?
Yeah. If you haven't subscribed yet, please follow my Facebook page, Bujang Broke. I'll try my best to share as many interesting things I can. Feel free to suggest, feel free to comment, and let me know. And yeah, I'll see you guys again next time.
Awesome. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
joining us. And thank you, everyone. Thank you for everyone else who's watching us live right now. Really appreciate it. So tomorrow we are going to have a conversation all around car insurance and how there's a company here that's actually started aggregating all of this, so you can do it all online. And at the same time, you can also compare all your prices. So do check it out. It will be a lot of fun. All right. Take
Cool.
care, guys.
See ya, guys. Bye.